All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna hit the thing.
Do the thing.
Now we're at 30, so that's perfect.
Da-da, da-da-da.
We're doing this.
Remember, we got a sponsor. We gotta keep this thing.
Hello and
Fine.
No, not the curse and spin. Let's make it pretty okay.
Daniel Dunlap of
Episode 60. Mike?
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Peter. Daniel.
Daniel.
That
That is officially our own.
That's gonna definitely be on the YouTube video again.
Welcome to episode 60 of Another Woodshop podcast,
Woo!
where Dan almost died this week.
We're live in Nebraska.
We're live in Nebraska.
We're alive in Nebraska. Dan almost wasn't.
From the land of Nebraska.
Fine.
No,
I don't know what
Dan
you're
is
talking
physically here. We're not using just clips from other episodes.
Splicing in old footage from Dan.
We had ethnic sandwiches in Nebraska, and they were to die for, and someone took it to the next level.
Dan choked on a kielbasa. What'd you have? Italian
sausage.
Yeah, and he choked.
It's Italian kibasi.
Italian Kabasi and Pete was able to give him the Heimlich. And it really is important to remember safety at those points in your life. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Peak Safety, who's the sponsor of this week's episode. We talk a lot about shop stuff on this show, but we don't always talk about safety, and specifically respirators. That's why we're excited to be sponsored by Peak Safety, a company with over 10 years of experience supplying PPE to woodworkers and other craftsmen across the United States. The fact is, your lungs are something you cannot replace. Not yet. Science has not gotten us there yet.
Not yet.
But as of now, all you can do is invest in things that can keep them safe. So an investment in keeping carcinogens like wood dust out of your respiratory tract is one you won't regret. I'm reading this on the fly. I'm making this up. This is definitely not copy. Peak
There was one sentence of copy.
Yeah.
This is all made up now.
Peak Safety's line of respirators will keep you working safely for hours on end. For our audience, they recommend the Power Cap, which we will be getting shortly to check out ourselves.
Yeah.
The lightest head-mounted power respirator on the market, which provides particulate protection 10 times that of traditional N95 half masks, works for guys with beards and won't fog your lenses if you
Like
wear
me.
glasses. Yeah, exactly. You wear glasses and have a beard.
All of
You're
us.
very famous for that. For heavy-duty applications, including lacquering, their belt-mounted Clean Air Pro and Infinity systems are among the lightest and most comfortable available today. Good to know. You can simply use code AWP21 for checkout, or at checkout for 10% off for any of the respirator systems at peaksafety.com. That's PEKE safety.com. Again, that's code AWP21 for 10% off any order at peaksafety.com. Stay safe out there. Big thanks to Peak Safety for sponsoring the podcast.
But I love how our intro and what happened this week literally played
It
right
worked
into
in.
our
Yeah,
Dan almost died.
I think we need to tell people that I literally almost choked to death.
Dan literally did. It was really scary.
And
we were eating
sexy
lunch.
pool Pete over here.
Sexy pool.
Sexy
Oh
pool
my
Pete.
goodness.
Came in clutch. I legit froze. Pete got up.
Mike was a
started-
coward.
Yeah, I was a huge coward.
Well, first of all,
I think the most important thing is that Emma kept slamming her Home Depot bucket full of mac and cheese.
Menards bucket.
family
Come on.
size, which by the way in Nebraska is just a small side.
Right, that's the small. That's the
It's
child's.
it's a side, yeah.
child's.
She ordered a side of
She
mac
ordered
and
the child's
cheese.
mac and cheese.
It was
A
in
boy's
New
medium.
Jersey. We call it a family-sized bucket of mac and cheese. It was slamming. She's like, "Is Dan okay?" Just full mouth.
and then a spoonful of mac and cheese shut out.
He's
No,
doing something funny.
It wasn't a joke. Dan really. It was really scary at lunch, but we're all good now. We're live.
Yeah.
We are. This is a very special episode. This is
Yeah.
the second
Second
time.
The seventh.
This is the second time that we've been together to do a show together. So,
And we
yeah.
took photos.
Yay
this
for
time.
vaccines.
Yay, vaccine. Yeah, we are.
Actually, we're going to take pro photos tomorrow.
yeah. We're gonna get
Apparently we're getting
boudoir
professional photos done.
But
Boudoir.
listen, big
Boudoir.
thank you to Peak Safety for sponsoring
Yeah.
the show, and big thank you to some other people for supporting the show. Pete, why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, like our sponsor, our other sponsors, patrons. That's another word for them.
Uh-oh.
No, but our patrons that help us continue doing this. They help us fund
Keep
all
going.
of our behind the scenes and
Yeah.
do all this stuff that we're doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
cover
we're
our
able to
costs.
get together, cover our costs,
Yeah.
and basically keep bringing this out every single week, sometimes twice a week, do lives, all that, because we really do care about this. And you guys showing the support that you do really allows us to keep pushing this, keep doing more, keep doing as much as we can to keep you guys entertained.
Yep.
Because that's what it's all about. Not only that, but obviously keep you safe, keep you knowledgeable, full of knowledge, knowledgeable,
neck deep in knowledge. Hey,
Yeah.
but you know what?
Go learn the Heimlich.
Go learn the Heimlich.
Go learn the Heimlich.
For your family.
We should probably do
Yeah.
a Heimlich episode.
And Mike, I believe we
we got a
have
couple new members of the
yeah.
family this week. We got Red Car Woodworks. That's redcard.woodworks. I'm not going to give out their email. And then Johnson.
Please do.
Yeah, and then I almost did. That was almost an edit. And then Johnson Works. Alex over at Johnson Works. Big thank you to the two of you for joining the family. The support we've got from our patrons it really is amazing. So big thank you to them. You guys
Much
are
appreciated.
incredible. So I think we just kind of usually just jump right into what's on my bench. So Dan, why don't you sing real quick?
No, do it live.
Thank
Do
you.
live.
No, I'm gonna edit it in. There's no way
You
you
don't
can
want me
pull
to
that
do this
off
live.
right now.
Wait.
That was a one-time thing.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, Dan, that was really great for
That was
live.
great.
It sounds just like the.
No,
No, you ruined
Ow!
it. You ruined it.
All right,
Ruined it.
Dan. Listen, what was on your bench this week?
Not a whole lot on my bench this week. I was trying to prepare for what we got going on right now, which is you guys are here
Meet
live
up.
with me. And I was trying to clean my shop and get ready for the CNC. And I don't think we could have timed it better, but the CNC from Onefinity arrived at 7:15 p.m. while we were having dinner in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, I couldn't have timed it better. I totally planned that the whole time.
You didn't do
You
it. but yeah.
didn't.
I'm
Supposed to be here
totally
3
playing that
weeks
the whole
ago.
time.
But aside from that, I have been working on the Murphy doors for the basement build out. They're actually sitting in my shop right now. They're ready for sanding. I need to paint them or spray them with pigmented lacquer, whatever you want to say. I just like to say I'm going to paint them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's paint.
I mean, it's better than paint, though.
It's better than paint for sure. It's way more durable
And it looks better. It comes on smoother.
It's yes, but to the layman,
Whoa,
I'm
that's
painting.
nice.
Whoa. Our patrons
Here, he
stop
can
it.
hear you.
I know. Anyways,
What's
it hasn't been super exciting in my shop. That's what's been going on. Pete, what do you got?
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's all you have.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
You can go
sorry,
to me
were
if
you-
need-
were you typing?
If you're not ready.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I can toss it to Mike, but I'll just panic and do it right
For
now.
episode 60.
So, no, for me, it's been, I've been working on this ash coffee table. So,
That's my thing.
oh, I'm sorry. Did I steal your thing?
Yeah.
Well, technically, it's a display table that happens to be a coffee table size, but it's not quite like yours. It's
Also-
different. So,
This is
a former coworker of
this is
mine, a
very
buddy of
awkward.
mine, Eric, his wife wanted to get him a private class of woodworking, to something. So around the holidays, we started talking, and I said yeah, let's just do a small class, but I'm not gonna charge him time. So he's got this project he wanted to do. It was gonna be a toolkit, and then he out of nowhere was yeah, let's instead of a toolbox, I want to make a coffee table. Okay.
Got to be herringbone pattern or
No, a lot of glass though. Trust me, that's not any better. So he's gonna need to get custom glass panels cut. But essentially, the whole idea is he wants a coffee table in which he can place his 7,000 plus piece Lego Millennium Falcon into.
That's right. I remember you talking about this.
Yes. So in one Saturday, we basically went from rough boards on my shelf. Luckily, I had a bunch of ash on my wall.
Cherry planks,
Ash planks, actually, quite a bunch. Thank you though for remembering that.
throwback.
To episode, all of them. Cherry on my wall. But we milled up the boards. We got them all cut. We got the whole design done. He sent me over a Fusion 360 file, so it was easy to figure out the whole thing. And basically, when he left, we had all our pieces fully cut on a bench, ready to get dominoed, and half of it was already dominoed.
Nice.
So we got the legs done. What's up?
I was going to say, I remember when you were a real woodworker and you didn't use a domino.
Yeah, I remember when you were a real woodworker and didn't have a CNC in your shop.
Ooh, Pete and Dan fight.
We'll get to that.
This happens once every
Also-
700 years when these two fight.
Also, I like how you threw it to me all the stuff that happened the last couple of days hasn't been a thing. We fully set it up. You got it milled. Emma's here. All the stuff. I don't know. I feel like you kind of skimmed over your week. It's been almost 2 weeks since Sarah
Awkward
was here.
silence.
Anyways, whatever. I'm still talking. It's filling it with noise. There's no silence.
There's noise.
Anyways, the most annoying thing about this table is there's glass on 5 sides. So for the sides, basically from where the
That's
shelf
pentagon.
is to the top, is all going to be glass. and the top's gonna be glass. So he's got to get custom glass panels cut.
Gotta
get him. And I have to cut all the grooves perfect just so everything fits. So it's a pain in the butt. Somehow I got myself from like a small private to basically a custom commission that I'm doing in 1 week. So that's extra fun. Anyways, that's been my whole week. Aside from that, I flew out to Nebraska with my wife for our honeymoon. It's fantastic. It was great so far.
Sorry.
What a huge mistake that was.
Huge mistake.
We were going to go to a beach, but instead I gave the Heimlich to a guy.
Yeah, choking on a sausage.
She got that mac and cheese though. She's happy.
South Omaha.
And then I helped assemble, test, and carve some stuff on a CNC that I don't even own. So, hi Mike, what have you done aside from helping me do that as well?
Assemble, carve, and test a CNC.
Thank you.
I don't own. But actually, this week I was kind of slow on Etsy, which was actually really good timing. I only got like 10 orders or something like that. It's kind of a lot of it was pretty easy stuff. So
kind of humble brag right there.
It was CNC stuff. I don't know, but it was kind of slow, and I was able to knock those out in one night because I've spent a lot of time on this coffee table. I had some issues over there.
What's it made of?
It's an ash coffee table.
I feel like you're copying Pete.
So the customer's got a 7,300 piece Harry Potter wand that they made of Lego. They're
just putting coffee on it. There's nothing fancy.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's just a coffee table. No, it's just herringbone coffee table. This job is.
It's gonna have a Magnolia magazine on it.
No one's ever gonna and posters that they'll pay someone else to make. No, this table has had so many like.
Do you have templates for those coasters?
Yeah. I'm gonna have them on my Etsy page. It's a 4-inch disc.
The key is the roundover.
Yeah, the roundover. That's what really brings it together. Anyway, this coffee table has been a challenge on multiple points, so I'm actually done with it. I got to finish on the day before I flew out to Dan's, which was 2 days ago. When did we land? Yesterday? We landed.
It's been so long.
It feels like a week.
It feels like I've been here for 2 weeks. It's been a day.
Remember 2 days ago when I saved his life?
It's Friday right now. We landed Thursday, or I landed Thursday. Yeah. Wednesday, I finished that table, and it felt. I mean, it couldn't come sooner. I mean, that table was just a challenge up and down, but it's done. I really like the design. I personally don't like the finish, but it's not for me. It's for the customer, and they really wanted it to be stained.
The customer doesn't listen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter if I don't like it. It's not for me. It's for them. They like it, and that's all that matters. So, got them their table done. Got the stain on there that they wanted. The finish actually looks really nice. I really forgot how much I like that Old Masters gel poly. It looks really good.
You going to talk about the little snafu you ran into?
No, I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay.
Thing.
Sorry, I brought it up.
No, it's fine.
Coward.
Pete's been waiting to fit it in to the show. No. Yeah, there was some issues with the finish. I had to sand the whole thing back and refinish it, basically. Yeah. I don't even want to.
He thought using Jackson's Play-Doh as filler was good. He said he used Timbermate. Timbermate, your local store. Free plug.
Yes. Hashtag use Timbermate or promo code Pete Dan Mike for I don't know.
For extra cost.
For 10% off.
Yeah, for 5% look for a Timbermate actual affiliate code in the future, maybe?
Yeah, probably not now. No, but yeah. So
wow, this is real filler content.
Jeez, stop.
I'm trying to remember. We recorded pretty early last week, right? On a
Tuesday, dude.
On a Tuesday, yeah, with Sarah.
There had to have been some other stuff I got done. Well, anyway, I don't know.
You're like me, like a Saturday morning, you brain wipe.
Yeah,
you forget everything you did the week before.
I'm working on a big...
Why'd we record so early?
Because you were going camping, and then we had Sarah on, and Sarah couldn't do the day before, so we did Tuesday.
You camping, that's right. I forgot you've been camping last week.
Camping is important.
So I've got a big job Actually, I landed a big job since last time I've been on the show, and then I'm working on a big job right now, plus all my other stuff I got going on. So when I get back, I'm going to be delivering that coffee table to the customers, and then I've got another table for them. I've got a dining table and a bench. That's going to be made of teak butcher block. Should be a pretty quick project, though. I mean, the worst part of it is the finish, I think, and that's going to be pretty quick, too. It's going to be a conversion varnish.
Can you talk a little bit more about the teak butcher block? Is that something you have to make, or is it pre-made?
Yeah, the customer he works in the I don't want to say the company, so how can I word this? He works in an industry
Microsoft.
No, he works in an industry where he can
Tesla.
He can obtain wood. and they liquidate those things. You can obtain lumber, and they liquidate those things there.
Lumber liquid.
No, don't say it.
Free plug.
No,
I thought I was guessing.
No, anyway, he
Are
works
you going to
for
talk about how you stole a job from Dan?
Yeah.
No, I'm
let's
not
not talk about that yet.
Let's not talk about that.
It's a couple weeks,
let's,
maybe.
Let's see if it actually happens first before we talk about that.
Yeah. Remember, I almost died.
That coaster deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your problem. But
We're not going to start a foundation for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, Pete already did his part. He saved you. I watched. That sandwich was good.
We'll do a raffle for a charity of your choice tomorrow.
Yeah. No, so the teak butcher block is already made. Customer provided that. I am just joining. So I've got 3 pieces of teak butcher block. I'm joining 2 to make a table. One's becoming a bench. I have the bases. The bases were fabbed by Bidwell Wood and Steel. That's where I get all my bases from.
Steel base.
Steel bases from. That's where I get all my steel bases from. So Aaron and the crew over there made that for me, which I appreciate. So I'm mostly going to be joining, finishing, getting the finish on. I'm putting a round over on the. It's a pretty quick project. The majority of it is the bases, really. I mean, the bases.
I'm all about the base.
All about the base, no treble. So and then I got this job. I don't even want to talk about it yet. So. Because I don't know that I have the job, so it's something. It came up in the last day, so it's a pretty cool project. I really hope it becomes something. So we'll find out more later. And Dan's upset at me because I got the job. So. All right, the job was brought to my attention.
I'm upset that they didn't even email me.
Maybe they don't know you.
Well, I'm kind of a big deal, Mike. I'm kind of a big deal.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you're not. I just don't know why they didn't. They don't even follow me.
I drive a
They don't follow me.
I drive a trail.
They don't even follow me.
By the way,
You
Trail
beat
Boss,
my Trail
guys, the hype is real. Trail Boss is, it's really high up there.
It's boss.
No running boards.
It's a good thing me and Emma have climbing experience, because getting into that thing every
9
day
out of 10.
is
No
like-
running boards.
It's no running boards.
Pete has to do the thing you can't see. Pete has to do things where he joins his hands together and then puts them down by his crotch, and then Emma stands on his hand.
You
Here's the steeple. Here's
you
the
laugh, but I literally
steeple.
did that for
Open the
her the
door.
other day.
Here's
I was
all
like,
the
"Do you need
people.
help getting?" Oh, it was yesterday. I was like, "Do you need help getting in?"
And then you shot her 20 feet in the air. She's tiny.
Yeah, it's a workout to get into that thing.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Running boards.
That's how I like it.
Yeah,
I like my trucks. I'll work out. We're just going to park 3/4 of a mile from Menards and walk.
yeah.
in.
Dan parks at the end of every parking lot.
You think it was a joke? It's not a joke.
But why do you?
I
Do
don't
that?
want people parking next to me. I don't want door dings and stuff.
It's him calling me and Mike fat. He thinks we should get some extra
It's a
steps
direct
in, and it's
attack
kind of
for
messed
sure.
up. It's a direct attack.
It's a direct attack.
I'm feeling
pretty
it.
much.
Okay, next, let's get on with the questions, I guess. Man, first we have to say in advance, we're real sorry for how bad this is.
Oh yeah,
We probably should have said it 18 minutes ago.
yeah.
This is
Is this bad though? We
No,
don't
it's
know.
fine.
We're all
bad.
recording at one
This
table
could be our best show ever. You don't know.
It's not.
with 3 mics and
Peak
only 2
safety.
of them actually.
AWP 21 for 10% off. No, this is a really special episode.
Paco's here too.
It's really nice to be in the same room with you guys. It really is. I mean,
I can't wait to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Together.
Let's just call the show.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right,
Thanks
so-
for joining us.
Let's jump into questions, though, right? Should
Yeah,
we do that?
let's
We
do
doing
it.
that on this
Let's do
one?
it.
This is a full episode.
Question me up.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. This first question is from
next
Adam
question.
Barnett. He's adorable, I must say. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey, Adam here from Barnett Custom Woodworks. I guess this question is a little bit more for Pete and Mike, and
Oh,
probably
Adam, you're killing me.
informational for Dan, though. So I use my computer to run my CNC machine, and just this week my computer died out of nowhere.
Whoa.
It just decided to give up on all life, and I reached out to Pete, and we kind of talked about it, and I'm pretty worried that I'm going to lose everything. So everything that I just
There's got to be recovery.
run a program for that feeds my Etsy store is about to be gone, which means I have to redraw everything. Hopefully I get dimensions right. But it's super unfortunate. So I'm kicking myself for not backing anything up.
Oh, gosh.
So the question here is, how do you recommend to back up all your CNC files and your computer that you use in your shop that's dedicated for work? What's the best way to go? Thanks, guys.
Pete, why don't you answer this first?
So the way I have everything backed up, and my situation is a little complicated. I should have gone last, honestly. I run both Mac and PC at home. My work stuff and what I just use for day to day is kind of more on the Mac side. But my PC is where I do all the designing, and my shop stuff runs on my PC. Now, one of the best investments that I've ever made is getting a NAS system or network assisted
I like that
storage.
Great rapper, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great rapper. He has a line of backup solutions.
Software backup solutions.
Yeah.
Nas the rapper.
Nas
he invented actually the Nas backup solution.
Yeah, so...
you gotta have a diverse portfolio.
So, hang on. So, check it.
Don't say check it.
Check it.
I gotta find the Nas.
Just put a clip in there.
I'll put a clip.
Come on! Wrong one. But,
Hero.
oh, stop it.
Okay,
Anyways,
just go.
So
act like I'm not talking.
Basically, the nice thing about NAS is you can set up what's called a RAID. A RAID is essentially
I love
a
RAID.
program that
Full-blown RAIDs.
tells, especially that World of Warcraft RAID's the best. It's a program that takes multiple drives and makes it so that stuff is redundant. If you lose, one hard drive could actually straight up die on you, and you can keep your data. So I have 4 drives in there. I can lose an entire drive and not lose an ounce of data at all. So all of my Mac stuff is set up automatically to back up. It's got this beautiful thing called Time Machine. If you're not using it, you're Dan Dunlap. You're
Whoa,
Dunlap.
dude.
I'm kidding.
You haven't even heard my
answer. Pick on my friend. No, but
we're not friends.
Are you backing up to
You
Time
saved
Machine?
my life once.
You're just an EMT. That's it. But back up your stuff with Time Machine. Get a drive or something so you have an extra backup. Because your primary backup's your computer. If that dies, you need it somewhere else. As far as the PC goes, PCs don't really have very good backup systems. They do, but they're not amazing. So what I recommend doing is copying physically your data to somewhere else. Not only do I use iCloud, I also use the NAS for my iCloud storage. And I physically copy stuff over there that's important. Like we're buying a house right now, all the documents for that are going there. Any video I shoot is getting backed up there. It's just a great way to save it. You want to have it in 2 spots. If you want to go crazy, get a cloud solution, but they're crazy expensive too. Mike, what about you?
I utilize iCloud. I've moved everything to my Mac, but I also have a Windows device, and I have Windows in parallels on my Mac. But on my Windows devices, I guess, technically, I actually have iCloud set up in there. All of my customer stuff, like my jobs, everything, my CNC files, my laser files, everything is in iCloud. Everything's in iCloud. I back up everything to there. I basically work out of that folder for coffee custom builds. And anything worth anything. Our taxes, everything's in there. So I put everything in iCloud. That's my solution. That's the only thing I have. I don't have a NAS.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, NAS. NASDAQ. Full-blown raids. Dan, what do you do?
I'm a Mac fanboy, first of all.
Same.
So I don't do the NAS or any of that stuff, but I have an app called Super Duper, which is fantastic. And Super Duper is what it is.
I hear it's a dippity of backups.
No, Bippity.
Bippity.
Don't screw that up.
Zippity zoppity.
So Super Duper is fantastic. Whenever I buy a new drive, I buy it in 2s. I buy 2 drives, and I can set Super Duper to do a backup at a certain time every night. So like, I can set it up to do a backup, and it basically just copies the drive every night at 3 a.m. when I'm asleep, when I'm not using my computer. So I have a completely perfect backup and copy of my drives, always. On top of that, I also have an iCloud backup, which I use. It's called Backblaze. Backblaze. Hold on, let me look up. Fill the time.
What?
Pete, your hat looks nice.
So, I mean, what I would say is that, like...
Oh, the iCloud I use is called Backblaze.
It's not iCloud. It's a cloud-based service.
Whatever.
What do we say? All right, Grandpa, keep going.
The cloud service I use is called Backblaze. And it backs up every night.
Backblaze?
Backblaze.
Thank you.
Backblaze.com. It's just it's an automatic, like, automagical?
Automagic. It's automagic.
It just backs up every night.
Yeah.
So, like, if my house were to burn down, everything would be backed up on the cloud.
When your house burns down. Go ahead.
Yes.
If it was only like if there was only like a free version of it that like came with the Mac OS, like it's so frustrating that they don't have like a internal backup system built in. It's so annoying.
Big Mac boy.
Anyways, what else
boy.
do you? What else do you do?
No, I think I'm done.
Peter's
I think I'm
throwing
done now.
shade hard right now. This next question.
Dude saves my life one time and thinks he can talk smack.
I didn't save your life. I just humped you from the back, and
This
everyone
next
was watching.
The front Heimlich is always weird.
Front.
This one's from Chosis Mo.
Hey guys, it's Moses with Chosen Craft Co. And I have a question about routers. So, one of the first tools I've invested in when I started out was a trim router, and I still use that. But that's the only router system that I have. And I've hit that wall of not being able to use it safely because, especially, for example, flush trimming using templates, and if it's a coaster, it's so small to clamp it down while having that
Coaster
router
plans.
around it. So I've been looking into investing into router tables or router lifts. But I wanted to hear
I
you
should
guys'
legit
opinion
list them.
about if you
I
had
haven't got any of this audio
$200
or
or $250 around that range.
And then I had
Would
my
you invest in a router table, a benchtop router table, or
none of this audio will make it into
None of
the
it.
show.
a cheaper version of GSM router?
Into the show.
The first one, the silver plate one. That's around $200.
Let my people
Would you,
show
would you
go.
invest in that router lift
None of this
and make
audio
your
will make it
own
into the
router
show.
table with that? Thanks, guys.
Hey, Pete, you got your finger up?
Yeah, because the other two can't breathe right now. All right, so Moses from Let My People Cho Co. Listen, as far as routers go, I mean, $200, I'm not going to lie, that is a tight budget. If you want my honest opinion, you're not going to get the solution you really want for that cost. That being said, let me give you the solution that you need with that price point, or you can get with that price point. I had a basic, I think it was Craig brand, and you can get other brands too, insert plate that just, you take the base that usually screws into the round part, the plate that's at the bottom that you can swap out. It screws right into that. So you're actually using your router, regular router, and I had a Porter Cable 1001 model. It's like their most basic model.
Do they still make that?
They do. They stopped for a bit because DeWalt bought them out.
Yeah, that was
there was
a
some
contention
uproar.
of like
Yeah,
uproar. Yeah,
I think they're back to actually making them. So that's a great router. Whatever router you get, you just have to make sure you get the right brand for whatever router you're getting. You can get a good router for about $100, and that insert plate is
Those
I think
are
a
router
70.
plates compared to a router.
So that's
Yeah.
a router plate, which
two
means that,
totally different things.
yes. So every time you have to adjust the height, you're taking the entire plate with the router attached out. You're loosening the router base, and you're turning the router until it's the height you want.
You can do that without
Lock
taking the
it.
whole plate out, but
Yeah,
yes,
and then drop.
Yeah, if you
drop it
get the
back
right
in.
router.
If you got, or if you have like a opening on the
open
bottom.
up cabinet, yeah.
I have a close off cabinet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can do that. That's a good option. I did that for about 5 years.
It's an option.
It's an option. No, it's a good option. It's,
It's
at least
fine. It's
a
better than
flat
holding a
plate
trim
that'll
router in.
hold- Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
it's-
want to.
It's better than like putting your router in a vise and using it that way.
Here's the thing,
because
when you,
I've done that.
when you lock it in, it's solid. It's not going to move.
Dunlap
But it's
experience.
not going to move until you actually take it out and readjust it by hand. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. And if you use your router table a lot, and you will once you have a good router table or a decent router table, that's the solution. Get a nice, cheap, reliable router. Don't get anything something off-brand or Wen. Don't get one. And you can get a fixed base router, save yourself some money. Get an insert plate for your router table, and then cut a hole in some piece of whatever wood you have that you use as a work surface, and you're fine. That's $200 right there.
I have some fantastic news right now, though. Well,
Okay.
I'll go on, man. Go ahead.
Okay, in that case, Dan.
I was going to say I agree almost entirely with Pete. You do want, well, first of all, it's going to be really tough for you to get a router table entirely with $250. I mean, that's going to be really tough to
You're
do.
not gonna do it.
You're going to have to find like a unicorn on the Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something. So I would say take that money, build your own router table, and buy a decent-ish lift. Or you can buy a very nice router plate. And those two things are very much they're different, yet they're kind of the same. A router lift will actually lift the router, but a plate is just something that just like sets the router in place. If you get like a DeWalt router, like the 6111, I think it is, it comes with a micro adjust. It's like a screw adjuster on it. You can kind of micro adjust that. However, if you want to go like the route of like a true like router lift, you want to get something like a Jessam. But I think Craig makes something too, don't they?
Craig does, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit more affordable. You know, the Jessam is definitely a better quality, in my opinion. But I think that's the route you want to go. With that budget, I don't think you can get an entire router table.
No.
What do you think, Mike?
Not a whole router
So
table.
the Jessam Router Lift 2 is $200.
Yeah, but no router then.
No router. You're gonna have to buy a router, and that's not my problem. I'm telling you to buy a router lift. No, I'm just trying. I mean, you gotta get a router. You could probably find. I think the Harbor Freight, they have it's similar to the Porter cable. I think they have a 2.5 or 3 horsepower motor.
Yeah, it's like a
motor,
Bauer or something.
It's a motor only. It doesn't have any of the attachment. It'll fit right into the Router Lift 2.
And that's basically all you need.
That's all you need is the motor. When my Bosch 1617 dies, which it's about to because it's Bosch, it's making the noise now.
They're good routers.
That's what I have in my router table right now.
3 of them.
The switches go on it.
Yeah. It's screaming right now. Like when I fire it up, it's like.
So wait, I want to cut in because you brought up a good point. They make a router lift for actually a trim router. I think Rockler sells it, and it's under $200, and he has it. That's not something I'll recommend.
Is it the lift or a plate?
It's a lift.
It's a lift.
It's actually a lift. It's not something I'm going to recommend.
But it's an option.
But it's an option.
It's not something I'm going to recommend, but
I just
I'm going
want
to
you to know about it.
You should know about it.
You should know about it. It's an option, but it's not what I would save a little bit of money and go with the next.
Wait a few weeks.
Yeah.
Sell a couple extra coasters. And then
buy some Dogecoin.
Buy some Dogecoin.
Dude, getting a full lift in my router table
lift is game changer.
It was one of the best things ever.
A plate is. I had a plate for like a year.
I barely used it.
I had a plate for a year. It was not enjoyable to use, so I didn't use it as much. You get yourself a lift, and you're like, you start using it more because it's a pleasure to use because it does its job. It works.
I got that Jessam router lift.
Yeah,
too.
You get the route. You have the master lift too, which is the next one up.
Yeah.
And then the router lift
kind of a big deal.
The only difference is that the top is phenolic on the master lift, and the one on the router lift is plastic, I think. But it doesn't matter. Just treat it well, and it'll be just fine. It makes no difference. The actual mechanical stuff that actually lifts it is very similar, just not quite as nice.
It's got a very great micro adjustment.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great piece of
equipment. And this is actually a question on the same subject that someone asked me recently. T-track for a router table. T-track, or do you do a miter slot?
I would
miter
say
slot,
miter slot.
100%.
There's no
100%. I put a T-track in mine. I've used it 0 times.
Garbage. Get a
I put a
slot.
feather board on it originally when it was the old table once.
What's the difference?
They're not. That has the miter, like the miter.
The miter is like you can use a feather board. So if you're doing like molding or some weird whatever a lot. I've never had to do that.
So Incra, who actually makes a very similar lift to Jessam, I believe there used to be some relation between Jessam and Incra, but they actually make a miter / T-track combination track that you can buy on Amazon. It's a miter on one side and a T-track on the other.
I've seen
and it's a very wide slot, but you can put it in there and you can use the T-track attachments and the miter slot. Like a regular miter slot will fit.
The really nice high-end cast iron tables have both, right?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
I certainly don't have
Does the saw stop have one? Or
no, mine just has the miter.
Oh, okay.
So I know the Jessam Master Lift XL, which is, I'm looking at their site, which is why I know this. Their table is crazy expensive. It's supposed to be fantastic. I have my lift in my wing of my table saw. I wish I had the space to have a table saw or my router table separate from my table saw because it just gets in the way with each other. I want those operations to be separate. However, I don't have the space and it works really well. So just
not everybody uses the table saw and the router at the same time. So
I don't use it at the same time, but it still gets in the way. It limits my.
No, it certainly does.
I have to lower my bit, and then I have to pop off the fence from my router table to move my.
I've ran my fence into the router bit numerous times.
That's one of those times where like having more than what's your width? 32 inch
He's
or
gonna say
36? 36. That's what I have as well.
Yes.
I think you have the same,
I
right?
have the same.
Yeah. I feel like what's the next one up?
52.
Oh, that's a big leap.
Yeah.
I feel like a 40 something.
I wish I
would be
had. I wish I
great.
had the space for the 52, and then
It's at least a 16-inch leap.
at least.
Math guy.
Math guy.
All right.
All right, let's jump to this next one. This next question is from Crash, which is Andrew
Smith Builds.
Yeah, Smith
Yeah.
Builds. Thank you, Pete. Here we go.
Hey guys, Andrew Smith from Smith Builds on Instagram. Got a question for you. Technique with resaw, but this is sort of a unique one. I don't have a bandsaw, so I'm left with limited options when it comes to resawing. Have used my table saw a couple of times with some effect, but if I end up with a board that is anything above about 7 inches or anything wider than 7 inches, my table saw can't get all the way through it, even when it's cutting at full tap. So wondering if you have any suggestions on how to go about resawing 8-quarter lumber or any other kind of lumber when you don't have a bandsaw. Appreciate your thoughts. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
Pete.
So I'm going to throw a tip in here that I learned from a buddy of mine, Glenn Guarino. He's been doing woodworking he's in his 70s. He's been doing it for like 50 plus years. And what he does is he does a lot of studio furniture, which is fairly high end, basically museum grade furniture. And he does this trick with the table saw that you would need to use for your resawing. He'll take, if he finds a beautiful figured piece of maple or walnut or whatever that he's going to work with eventually, but he doesn't have use for it now. If it's thick enough, he'll resaw it on a table saw, full height, one side, then the other, with anywhere between 1/2 inch to a 2-inch gap in the center, which means he's resawing
Material
it.
left over.
Yeah, basically. So he's resawing it most of the way through on this beautiful board that's got a lot of figure, and he sets it on a shelf. He dries it like that because it's letting the wood dry faster and more evenly. And then when he's ready to use it, he'll actually just take a Japanese pull saw and resaw that down to center and then run it through the planer. And then he's got a book match set that's fully dried. A lot of times when you cut open a 8-quarter or 6-quarter board, you're cutting it down to center, you leave it out for a day, it's going to start moving on you. Having pre-cut at least 3 inches on each side, that's not too bad. And if it sounds like most of the boards we're getting in the lumber yard, we're looking at about, let's say 8 inches as an average.
Average, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can get 3-inch cuts on both sides, I think you can do a 2-inch cut with a handsaw. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but if you got a planer, stop it. If you got a planer, you can flatten it out. And I think that's a good solution. And if you dry it like that, because you know you're going to be cutting it down smaller, that's not a bad option for drying it either. Because then you get a nice little look match on it. Mike, what about you?
That was my answer. Cut it with a table saw and then hit it with flush trim saw.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have any other answer.
I was.
That's the only.
I was waiting for you to say jigsaw. Like you
Yeah, you get a jigsaw. You put a sawzall. You tape a sawzall blade to the jigsaw.
Since they're giving like their straight answer, another option is, and this is really out there.
Oh, you're giving a real answer? Sorry.
Look up Shannon Rogers, Renaissance woodworker. I've mentioned him before. He uses what's called a Chevalier or Chevrolet saw, whatever, something like that.
Trail boss saw.
Basically, it's a trail boss of the saws. But no, it's because it's so large and wide, you can actually make them yourself out of wood and you just buy the blade. You can resaw panels quite easily because of the way it's designed. Let me saw
It's like a ripping saw?
It's basically a ripping saw
Like a big
for
ripping saw?
resawing panels. It's a panel saw.
Yeah.
Look up panel saws, panel hand saw, and you can find some good options out there. I know it sounds ridiculous to still be doing it by hand, but
Panelhandsaw.gov.
I think
.gov.
I think a panel handsaw is going to be cheaper than a bandsaw.
it's going to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
and
you basically stole my answer, I feel like. I was going to say the same
Right.
thing.
Direct attack.
Resaw as much as you can on the table saw and then use a handsaw to finish the rest. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have a whole lot of options if you don't have a bandsaw.
Yeah,
Nope.
or use a CNC with a 3-inch or 3-inch
Or,
long,
you know,
8-inch bit.
if you want to like waste a ton of wood and your end goal is just getting the piece thinner, you know, throw that sucker through the planer a bunch of times.
I mean, that's one way to do it. If you want to waste a lot of wood.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, if the end goal is just getting the piece thinner, you're not trying to book match the pieces. I don't
Okay.
remember what he said exactly.
Who knows? It was so long ago. Why don't we jump into the announce our winner of our giveaway for last week?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Last week, for the winner of the Macbeth Hardwood giveaway, it was Robert DeRohan, and he won the Japanese pull saws.
Yes, that's correct. That's how fitting to what we just said, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, very
Yeah,
nice.
Japanese pull
It's
saw.
like we fit that in perfectly. It's like we
Yeah,
planned
didn't. It's a
We did
Tijima.
Tojima?
Tijima.
Tijima?
Tijima.
Is that the Jersey
God.
pronunciation?
Give him the Heimlich, quick.
Yeah, major. I smell toast, guys.
So, anyways, I smell almonds. Congratulations, Robert. You're going to hear from us soon. We'll be on the
Interwebs?
interwebs. And we'll get in touch.
All right. That's enough of that.
Back to the show.
Yeah, let's go back to the show. This next question is from Sean Marks.
Best mom on the internet.
No. He's going to say
Oh, dang it.
This next question is from Sean Marks. Sean Marks.
What's going on, gentlemen? This is Sean, made with Marks on Instagram, the finest mother in all the land with hips that don't lie. And I had a question about
Hips don't lie.
I know Dan in the past has talked about, mileage trackers, maybe even some time trackers in the past. So I myself am trying to track my time a little bit more, maybe track mileage as well. So I don't know. I was kind of thinking about what apps you guys may use to make your businesses more efficient, outside of the normal finance ones and things of that nature. So any recommendations would be greatly appreciated. And I think it goes without saying, I'm looking forward to hearing all you guys together. So have a good night and thanks.
Dan, apps.
Hey,
Whoa.
first of all, thanks, Sean, for calling in. Appreciate that. Best mom on the internet. I use. So he mentioned
Mileage trackers.
Yeah, I use Mile IQ, which is fantastic. I think Microsoft bought that not too long ago. It's
a paid one, right? I think.
I pay $65 a year for it. It's fantastic. It just runs in the background all the time.
Yeah.
It always tracks my mileage,
and it saves you $64 a year, so it's great.
Like quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I did my mileage for a whole year in about 3.5 hours several months ago. We did our taxes.
But it saved you a ton.
Yeah, I think I tracked like $5,000 worth of mileage because of that app, and I was able to like I said, I did it in about 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours or whatever. But it saved me several $1,000s, and like I said, it's only $65 a year. It's fantastic. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, phones are going off like crazy.
Aside from that, I use a couple other apps. I use Trello. It's like a project management app.
Is it Trello?
Trello. Yeah, Trello.
Yeah.
Trello, whatever.
Mike, you want to talk about it? 'Cause you clearly know more about it.
I don't use it. I've just seen the name.
I use that. It just kind of like keeps things organized a little bit, so I can keep on the ball on what I'm actually working on at the time. I feel like Mike could probably talk about that a little better. Mike?
No, I don't use Trello.
But you know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I've looked into a lot of project.
We've been on the internet before.
I've looked into a lot of project management apps. I've kind of have my mind set on one right now called Jobber. It's just a little pricey, and I'm trying to like justify that, and I think it makes a lot of sense for what I'm doing right now. But I have QuickBooks Online. I got that through my CPA, and it has mileage tracking built into the app, so that's built into my monthly cost of my accounting software. I was very shocked at how much the estimated tax write-off was for the mileage, and I've only been tracking it since the beginning of this year. I was like, oh, that's a lot of money, not like a little bit of money. It's a lot of money.
And if it's anything like Mile IQ, it'll send you like a detailed like PDF file.
Yeah,
like I get a 200-page file
because I'm not full-time right now. I have to separate business and personal, so I can just swipe right for personal and swipe left for business or something. I can't remember what it is.
Same exact
thing. I just do it, so I do that, and then I say what it was for, and I have a list of things that I've already made, so I just do it as I go. I do it every Friday night before we do the podcast, actually.
Does the IRS listen to this, by chance?
I gotta imagine they listen to everything. This is fire.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Frank. He's my FBI agent.
I was gonna
Mine's
say I went
Cletus.
to I went to Mount Rushmore last year, and I took photos for a couple, and I made them pay me $1 so I could write it off.
Boom. Well, that's what you're gonna do.
Legally covered.
Yeah, legally covered.
Yeah.
This is
They want to try to fight you
It was a
with
business.
finding.
Yeah.
So I use that, and that's really all the apps I use. Well, I mean, I use iCloud, like I said earlier. Let me actually pull up my phone because I feel like I'm missing on something here. But I use iCloud. An app I use a lot, which wouldn't be like an app, is called Boardfoot Easy. It's a Boardfoot calculator app. I use it for all my takeoffs.
Oh, really?
I use Boardfoot calculator app for that because
I never thought of that.
yeah, I use a Boardfoot calculator
Because the math is pretty simple. I'm the math guy.
math guy. So then I also have a spreadsheet I use to price up all my jobs. I had a job I priced up. I did the spreadsheet myself with the math manually, and I screwed it up, and I will never let myself make that mistake again because the job ended
Have
up
you guys
being-
heard of Snapchat?
That's what you use for work stuff.
Get out.
And then I guess that's kind of it for my apps. I use an app called Things. It's just a reminder app. I use Things. I use it. It's on my Mac and my iPhone. I use that. And then I have a really nice construction calculator, but that's from my day job. I bought that, but I actually use it a lot on my for woodworking. And I think that's kind of it. That's it. Yeah, Pete.
I use one called the App Store. It's got a bunch of features built in. You can download.
I quit.
Honestly, I keep it very bare bones. I like apps, but they tend to change a lot for a lot of these like trendy apps. Like, oh, this is a cool app for this or whatever, and like within a year, it's like obsolete or it's stopped being updated or something like that. So I tend to run all my stuff through Numbers and Notes because I'm
the
Mac
math
based.
guy, not the numbers guy.
I get it. So Numbers, I tend to make a lot of very custom, spreadsheets and stuff, so it makes it easier to track for myself. I'm not tracking my mileage yet because I'm not doing a lot of deliveries or driving for my business. So
This isn't a company. This is a work expense.
trust me, I'm keeping every receipt. Every receipt's being tracked for this.
receipt.
This is a business expense. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Oh, the booze.
I should have made you pay for everything.
It's a work meeting. We're talking about work. Yeah, we're good. But I use Numbers. I use Notes. It's simple. You take notes. It's
use Notes.
stupid searchable. Like it's
Who
so
doesn't
easy.
use notes?
Yeah. Are
Are we talking about writing notes?
No, the
No,
notes.
like the Notes app.
There's an app for that?
So here's a couple of cool things
He's the
about
choking
Notes.
guy.
Even if you have a note that is encrypted, you can actually encrypt notes so that if someone did get a hold of your phone, they can't get in
Biometrics.
without passwords. But you okay, Dan? Yeah, Dan's dying again. That's fine. You can do that. It's still searchable. It's super searchable. And I actually got in a habit about a year and a half ago of putting as a header a long title because like I don't need it to be short. I just need it to have a bunch of words in there that I'm going to search for, like another Woodshop podcast or AWP podcast, whatever. And if you actually drop a photo in there, it comes the first photo in the note comes up as the logo, the picture next to it. So it's
I
easy to
actually want to
find.
know more about that.
Yeah, it just drops
I use-
a picture in there as like a
Notes is
preview of
very
like,
handy.
hey, there's this photo in there. And I learned this recently from a client.
Checklists and then
I went to go quote out a job, and they're like, they start drawing out a project. Apparently, Notes.
You can make it a document.
Well, not even just that. Even better, Notes has a snap to so you can draw a rough square,
and stuff in there.
and it
Sketches.
snaps it to square.
Shut up.
Yeah. So he starts drawing furniture on here. I'm like, what app are you using? He's like, Notes. I'm like, I worked for Apple for 9 years. I just learned about
You
this.
can do circles and triangles. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
you
It'll snap
can.
two
Yeah,
figures and
it
stuff.
snaps the grid. Are you
kidding me?
Yeah, I learned this too 2 weeks ago. Crazy.
You have an Apple Pencil. You're big time stuff.
So, I'm not trying to be like, listen, I use PCs, Macs at home. Not an Apple fanboy, but the stuff just works. Like
feel like you're
Notes,
just
it
flexing.
does a good job for writing this stuff down. Numbers, it does a great job for tracking your stuff without overwhelming you. I like Excel. It's too much
Excel's
stuff
fantastic.
in there. Too much stuff.
It's
in there.
really great. I know how to use it.
But there's too much.
Better than
yeah,
Numbers.
as do I. But still, too much stuff in there. I feel like it overwhelms you. And the last one is,
feel like
and
it
this is a shop safety one, and I'll shout out to our sponsors, but my new favorite feature is the loud noise sensor on the Apple Watch. I actually wear my Apple Watch every day, and the hey, you're in a loud space right now.
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes I don't think about it because I've just become so numb to it. I'm just wearing AirPods, and like the router's going, and like my dust collection, whatever.
I get that message on my phone all the time. Like, you need to turn your earpods down. I'm like, you don't know me.
No, not the AirPods. It tells you when you're in a loud space.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like ambient sound. It's like, hey, you should probably be wearing like some kind of PPE. Like, oh, you're right. I'm running my planer now.
I just get messages telling me to turn down my AirPods.
So it's like a simple little solution, but that helps me out. But not to focus all on Mac, but notes, yo.
Notes.
All
right, the next one is from Mike. From Pix to Proto. He has this to say. Oh, I'm all mixed up. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Mike from Pixels to Prototype, or Pix to Proto on the Big IG.
Big IG.
Had a question for you this week on marketing and advertising. So I sell a lot of CNC dust boots and organizational products for the shop, and been looking to expand, do a little bit more sales. And one of the things that's come up is Google advertising or Wix ads. And I wanted to understand what you guys have tried in the past, and maybe what's worked for you, what you'd recommend, and get your thoughts on it. Appreciate the podcast. Love listening to you guys every week. It's so entertaining. And keep up the awesome work, and can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Pete, you're pointing to yourself vigorously.
Okay.
Why did you choose?
The only advertising I do right now is Dan making noise. And then also Etsy ads. That's it was recommended to me by a new friend that I made, Bethany. On Bippity Bethany from IG.
Bippity Bethany.
And Crafts with Bethany, if you want to look it up. And I looked. She basically talked very heavily about doing ads and doing a very minimal amount of ad payments, about $30 to $60 a month, which it's a good amount, but it has actually brought me more sales than that. I'm really trying to keep it together, Dan. Can you stop laughing right now? But the only type of advertising right now that I'm doing is that and cleaning up my SEO. And again, to bring it to Etsy, Etsy does so much SEO work for you. It literally puts your stuff on the top of Google if you market it right on Etsy itself. So use your tags, have good descriptions, good titles for everything. And it does a lot of the work for you. And yeah, they charge a price for you. And you know what? You want to talk about another app? Etsy. It's not an app, but like they do a lot of work.
They have an app.
Oh yeah, they do. And they take their cut, but they track everything for you: taxes, payments, shipping, getting your orders organized, everything. Like,
it's really well put together.
It's really well put together. And the SEO, it puts you in front of so many people. Like, you know what? Yeah, they take a heavy cut, but you know what? They earned it. So that's my answer. Dan?
I'm gonna say ditto to everything Pete said.
Oh,
I don't have a whole lot to add. I mean, you kind of nailed everything on the head. That's all I got. I'm sorry, Mike.
I've never paid for advertising for stuff ever. Like
exactly.
Instagram or Google Ads.
I paid for a few like Instagram like
promoted posts.
Whoa, you did?
I've never done that.
Whoa.
I just never have. So I've never.
I'm not that easy.
I don't have any experience with it. Is all I'm saying. I've never done it. However, when I go full time, I will be using Etsy ads to pump the store to keep that influx going. And I will more than likely. It's hard. There will be a point when I use Google Ads. I'm going to be dealing with a reset on my business in the next few months. So I'm going to be using Google Ads to target some local businesses. I can't really go into that much, but
I want to say I feel like ads are like a negative connotation to like everything. Like it's not a negative thing. Like it's part of running a business.
Yeah, for a business, it's marketing.
Yeah,
it's marketing. But I mean, I think that right now things are so busy that if I ran ads, I'm afraid I'd die because it'd be so busy.
Right.
So when I need to be busier, when I'm full time and I need more work, I'm going to run ads, and those will actually run I'll take advantage of those ads for sure. Like I'll pay money for those things. I'll use Google Ads to get coffee custom builds out there on more. I mean, Instagram brings me some business, but Google Ads can bring me a lot of business.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a totally different thing. And
it's a wider audience.
Yeah, it's going to be and it's targeted. Those things are targeted. Like people on Instagram want to see me make a video about something satisfying. They don't necessarily want to find.
Or they want to learn something.
Yeah, or they want to learn something. They're not necessarily there to buy something from me, which is fine. You've got to understand that about Instagram. People aren't, by and large, people don't really want you to sell something to them on Instagram. So you really can't use it as your marketing platform like some businesses see it as. But Google Ads is for that. It targets. They have metrics and they have algorithms to target what you're trying to put out in front of people to the right people. So if someone types in handmade furniture, I want Coffee Custom Builds to be the very first thing that anyone looks for.
I should like specify, like, I've never like run ads for Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, but I have run ads on Google for Daniel Dunlap Photography, and I've got a lot of business for that. Like for a while there, I was doing like 30 weddings a year, which is a lot for a wedding photographer. You got to think about there are 52 weekends in a year.
I've heard that. That's really true.
Yeah, that's the math.
Math guy.
Biden made that a law. So I was shooting weddings 30 weekends a year.
You know how many kids that shot behind that building?
Oh god.
Anyways, my point is, like, if you're gonna run a business, there's no harm, there's no foul.
No negative connotation.
You have to run ads. You have to.
Buying followers?
That's trash. Let's not do that. I mean, if you lived in Texas.
Yeah. One thing I would say is, that, Mike, I know you because you've reached out to me, is your market is not the world, it's the maker space. Because he's actually selling to makers, to CNC owners in particular.
Yeah, it super depends on your market.
It's niche.
Oh, you're saying Mike? I was so confused. I was like, "What are you talking about him, Mike? You're talking about our
Mike from Pixaproto.
Yeah. I was like, "What? No, it's not."
Come on,
I understand. No, Mike. Yes,
you know everything about him. He's our patron.
Yeah.
But so you're doing it the right way. Is you're advertising online. You're trying to be out there. And
is Mike on Etsy?
I believe so.
Let me check
actually,
right now.
I'm not 100% sure. So Mike sent me a dust boot for my CNC, and I really like it. And I gave him honest feedback. I was like, hey, it works great for this. It works okay for this. But I love it all the same. And it's 3D printed. I'm a big fan. And you're doing it the right way. You're reaching out directly to people that are going to be using it. You're not just throwing out like these freaking Amazon reseller people that are just like, hey, I represent this brand. Would you like to try this brand?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, no, I don't.
He's on Etsy.
Yeah, he is.
And he has 500 sales. He's doing just fine on Etsy. So
he's doing a heck of a lot better than me. I shouldn't be talking.
So
Mike,
everyone with a CNC out there, go check out Mike from Pixaproto.
So
go check him out.
Seriously, Mike, I would say that it looks like you have extremely good foothold on Etsy. I would just say buy some Etsy ads. And I feel like you might benefit from making your own website and
Etsy can actually, if you sign up for Etsy Plus, which is so there's ads and then there's Etsy Plus. Etsy Plus, basically, you pay $10 a month. Of that $10, $5 goes towards ads already or something like that. And then
why are you looking at me? I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at you. And one of the options they give you is it opens up. You can actually get your own domain, your own email, and a bunch of other stuff like discounts on.
But if you have a website, don't you already have your own domain?
If you have a website, and he might actually don't know that off the top of my head. But yeah, Mike, if you want to learn about some Etsy ads, I'm not a pro, but I've been listening to a lot of people that use Etsy ads a lot. Hit me up. Like I'll tell you everything I know because I think that's a good way to do it, and you're doing everything right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, just keep it up, Mike. I mean, just keep the snowball going. But I mean, Etsy ads seem like they'd be a good thing for you. I don't know that because you're on Etsy and it looks like you're doing so well in there. I think the only thing you'd want is to start your own website where you can cut out their costs or cut out their charges. And then I would take advantage of. It sounds like you're on Wix because you mentioned Wix ads, but I would do Google ads because Wix.
Also, never get rid of Etsy.
Oh yeah, don't get rid of Etsy. Don't lose that.
Another place to sell. And look at Two Moose Design. They blew up on Etsy, started their own site. They're running both in tandem.
Yes, majority of this. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's good. I would definitely look into getting another one. I'm sure you actually probably have your own site, but we don't know that. Anyway, that's fine. Great job, Mike. Etsy store looks like it's doing well. I don't know. I know that what you're selling makes it hard to kind of add more items on there. You've got 14 items on your store. I know that for me, whenever I put new items on my store, things started picking up. So.
Yeah, you gotta treat Etsy kind of like a blog. If you want to get traction and SEO from a blog, you have to keep your content fresh.
Yeah,
and I feel like Etsy's probably the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. All right, the show is terrible. Big thanks to Pete Safety.
The worst one we had.
Is that it?
No,
Are
it
we
was
done?
good.
Every time you say that, I think you say Pete Safety.
Pete Safety.
No,
You guys check out Pete Safety.
No. This is actually
Juicy
really,
Pete.
I think this is a really good show, actually.
Yeah.
We did
pretty
it.
good.
It only took 60 episodes.
We only did a
Pretty good.
pre-show live on IG.
Well, it only took like
And
4
then-
or 5 starts. I think.
But 40 minutes of us on TikTok
Yeah,
here in front of us.
TikTok was pretty
While
good.
all of it was recorded, bippity. And
Bippity
then
boppity.
yeah.
No time for the zoppity. All right, listen. Big thank you to Peak Safety for sponsoring this episode. We really appreciate them for sponsoring us and supporting the show and partnering with us and
Big time
trusting
thanks.
us with your
Yeah.
message that you're trying to get out there. So we haven't actually gotten our hands on their tools. We're excited to.
Soon, though.
The stuff looks really great. We're very. What's up?
I'm super
We've
pumped.
seen this
But
stuff.
we've seen
in
it.
use.
Yeah, we've seen it on accounts.
First of all, I've seen Jackman use it for like a year now or
Yeah.
more.
Justin
And
over.
he's
at
got a
Rustic
big beard too.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I
know
think
you don't have to fight, but-
Ashley Harwood uses
Yeah,
one.
I'm a big. So what the cool thing is, and this is they didn't give us any of this information, but it creates a negative pressure. It actually blows air out.
Yeah, so
So it
through
blows
your beard.
air out.
So
So it
it's
actually,
like a
it
it's
doesn't
like
suck
a it's
air
like
in.
it's like a negative
It's a
pipe
negative
link.
pressure, and it pushes air out. So
So it
you're
goes through a filter on top,
up top.
through your face. Also, I've been
That's
told.
took you long enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep it clean, but apparently, even if you're using it in the summer or something when it's hot, because there's like a cool breeze, it
Yeah.
like forces the air across your
Yeah.
face,
So it
it's
doesn't
kinda
get too
nice
hot.
too.
AC on your face. I like
AC
it.
on your
It
face.
doesn't get too hot in there.
Yeah.
So that thing, I'm
So-
really looking forward to trying that
It's
out. Like,
getting not hot in here.
because
So take
Beautiful.
off,
That was
keep
beautiful.
on your mask.
I mean, it's good. I'm really looking forward to it because I'm spraying more.
I started spraying. By
I've
the way,
been-
I'm in love with spraying.
I've been very cognizant of using PPE more. I've been using my earmuffs. I've been putting my earmuffs. My ear. Well, I'm using my Beats by Dre because it has no noise canceling,
Sponsored.
and I'm a G unit. So
Voice counseling.
nose counseling. That's what it is.
Oh.
Anyway, big thanks to Peak Safety. We're really excited to partner with them. We would. I mean, it'd be awesome if you checked them out. Use code AWP21, get 10% off. They are awesome. Big thank you to our patrons. You guys are amazing. You guys have been with us for so long. So many of you have been with us for so long. It's crazy. So big thank you to all of you who stick around. Big thank you to all of you who've recently joined up. You guys are amazing. Go check out the iTunes store. There's some big changes coming to the iTunes podcast we've been seeing lately.
Oh, yeah.
There's some new,
yeah,
there's some new
yeah,
things.
yeah.
We got to actually
We
look
gotta
into
actually
that.
talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Next week we got to talk about some things too. There's some big events coming up that we need to talk about. So there's a lot of stuff coming up down this pipe. This summer's going to be pretty interesting and busy.
It's gonna be busy.
The AWP crew. So
There's
It's gonna be
let's
off
just say,
the chain.
it's going to be a lot.
There's gonna be a lot of movement.
A lot of movement. A lot
Yeah.
of movement. So
Yeah.
go check out. But go to iTunes. Give us the 5-star review. Don't worry about your nose counseling. And then we'll talk to you guys next week. We're going to be doing another live tomorrow night on Instagram.
Probably.
But it'll be too late.
When everyone's here.
We're doing the
We'll
meetup.
do it with the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's
In
the
the background.
worst.
They'll be in the background. Tell them no.
We
Stay away.
We should do it live when there's like a huge crowd here. That'd be fun.
That'd be
No,
cool. Yeah,
we'll do it
live.
like when they do news in New York.
Let's
Like
not
Good Morning
discuss it at the end of the
America.
podcast.
There's
Oh
people
my
in
God,
America.
we put the background with the
plexiglass
sign.
around
Yes.
us.
We'll just gate off the garage so they're just in
Oh,
the
I
background.
love it. Let's do that. We'll have
We're just
chairs.
sipping coffee the whole time, like.
We'll bring out my kitchen chairs because they sit up a
amazing.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah, look at our audience back there. That's so great.
This is we'll put them right here. We'll put them right here on the deck.
Behind the window.
We'll just die here.
They,
Well, that's really far down.
Yeah,
You
we'll
can't-
put them right
do you have
here.
white paper Menards? They have white paper markers
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
those signs. Like,
Yeah.
we love AWP.
Let's get out of this thing. This is
All right,
terrible.
it's the-
Oh, are we
it's
doing
going
one?
down.
Bye, 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 bye.
Love you long time.
I love you long time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, 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 bye.
Why not to
Kill it.